Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Television Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's always such a fun ride. You know, you can find us on television. That's channel 182. You can also find us on television, Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on the newscasters.com. And I'm happy to tell you that we're with WZLA. It's a power station in South Carolina. They're an FM station, and they claim to be the biggest country giant out there. I kind of believe they might be, John. They are pretty big. 92.9 FM. But thank you so much, folks, for letting us be part of that as well. And I told you we're working on quite a few things here in South Carolina, and that's one of them that just materialized. I have my friend John Merrill with me right now, former Alabama Secretary of State. You're always going to be our Alabama Secretary of State, no matter where you go, John.
You're kind, my friend. I appreciate you.
Well, you were such a good one. And so many things were installed and put in place to make election integrity out there be the way that it should be. But now you're with Waggoner Engineering, and you're helping make strides in that area too.
We are, and we're excited about the great work that we've been able to do all over Alabama, from Macon County to Clark County to Etowah County, Madison County, all across the state, Cleveland County. We just continue to try to find a way to work with the municipal governments and the county governments to improve the quality of life for all of those citizens that are being served in those areas. And we are not going to stop until we have made an impact in as many counties as would like to do business with us.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. You know, Alabama really has the advantage as far as growth. I'm talking growth, but I'm talking about the educational systems that are out there, especially with your technical colleges. Those jobs are booming.
They really are. And one of the things that we need to do an even better job of than what we have done before is to continue to encourage our young people who are in elementary school, who are in junior high, to consider vocational education as a primary option, because the people that are trained to work in those fields, whether it's brick masonry, carpentry, whatever it happens to be, automobile repair, cosmetology, those people make a lot more money than most of the people who are sitting behind desks in buildings each and every day. And I think it's important that they understand the value of the quality of the work that they can provide, because people may look down on those kinds of jobs until your car stops, until your commode backs up, until your sinks clog. And when those things happen, those people become the most valuable friends that you can possibly have.
Oh, and not only that, but with AI coming in strong like it is, and it's growing by leaps and bounds almost every day, there's a new growth matter going in AI, and that's making those jobs even much more popular than before.
It really is. And one of the things that will continue to happen is the evolution and development of the AI component. And we will see things being introduced that we didn't even conceive of, even in the comic books or in the science fiction television shows or movies of the past.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was interesting. Yesterday we were at church, and the pastor even mentioned some pastors are actually using AI to help put their sermons together. Now, he doesn't trust it entirely, but he said, you know, that's happening now. And
well, you still have to be careful. Yeah, you do have to be careful, because you'd want to make sure that if you used AI in helping your sermon prep, that you were still using the Bible as the primary base, as opposed to the interpretation of the Bible by this AI component. Because one of the things that we've seen, and we've seen that here in our work, is that there are people who have utilized the artificial intelligence component to help with lawsuits and with certain type of presentations related to the law. And on more than one occasion, it has been introduced to us that people have introduced sites on cases that never existed. Not only were they not fully adjudicated, they had never been introduced. And when you start checking that out, if you're a judge, then you're going to lose confidence in the counsel, because you think if they misrepresented this, there's other things they'll misrepresent as well. So that makes it incumbent on the user of the AI to make sure that they're checking all of their background sources so that things will be accurate.
Yeah, but I promise you, if you're at church, your church members are really going to check that out to make sure you're telling the truth.
You got that right.
So yeah, research. But you got to research in everything anyway. I mean, not only that, but every single thing. I do that with the show. I've got to make sure I've got the right information out there.
Well, that's a great point that you're making, Donna. I spoke to a group of students the other night at Auburn University, and one of the students asked me, "Hey, what news source do you use?" And I think they were expecting me to say Fox News or News Nation, and I told them, I said, every day I read and watch some CNN. Every day I read and watch Fox News. Every day I try to get as many sources as I possibly can. I have about 5 or 6 websites that I go to every day that help me be prepared to process the information that's being introduced. And I explain to them that the news is actually what the people that are preparing the news tell you that it is. And then you take that and you evaluate it and you assess it. Then you determine whether or not you want to believe everything that's been presented, or if you need to do more research in a particular area. But an individual cannot go and do worldwide research, but they can accept the information that's being presented to them with a questionable method, so that they do have to do additional work to ensure its authentication.
Well, it's like you've said before, it's all about balance anyway. Because I've asked you about, your success as being Alabama Secretary of State and your success in what you do now. And then you went on to talk about the success of towns and cities across Alabama and in other areas where you've helped. And it seems like it always boils down to a balance.
Absolutely. You have to have access to information that will enable you to perform at a high level in anything that you're attempting to do. You can't just utilize one source and think that because this source has always been successful for me, that this is the best source available, because it's not.
Let me ask you a question. This pertains to colleges, tech centers, that kind of thing, because they are growing. It's a growth spurt. And just to keep up with all the new information that's coming out there has to be a headache from time to time, because it's in ways it's like so much information being darted at you that, which one do you take in first? So how are they maintaining all this new information coming in? That's
why you have to have outstanding team members who will provide you with the kind of background research that's necessary to ensure the authenticity of the information that's being presented to you. And again, not just accepting something because it comes from a particular source, but that it is from one source that you have found to be a trusted source in the past. But when you combine that with other information, it will help you be better prepared to know that sometimes when you see things like that, other questions need to be asked so that the answers that you're arriving at are more fully developed.
I talked with our banker, and so we're Wells Fargo, and we have some CDs in there, and one was matured, so Phil and I had to go by and talk to him about that. So I had a question about how do you keep up with all this new, because of AI coming in, there has to be new ways people are thinking about, stealing other people's money, and doing fake accounts and stuff like that. And she said, it's a daily thing. We're just constantly having to stay on top of things.
I know that is the case. And I also know that those challenges are introduced in different ways every day. And so that's the reason why they have constant training programs in the financial industry. And one of the things that you see more than you've ever seen before is people who will be using the telephone to call and to try and manipulate you into utilizing other financial services that you may not have even considered before. and they especially prey on the elderly. And whenever that happens, it makes everyone more angry because most of those elderly people that are preyed upon are defenseless when it comes to understanding exactly what they're doing. And people will be more inclined, especially elderly people, to help those that are less fortunate. But a lot of times, these people that are doing this are disguising themselves as someone that's a relative of that person or someone that's representing the relative of that person, which makes them even more vulnerable.
Well, sometimes they'll say that with a power company, they're about to turn the power off. That mother got that call one time. Now, she's one of those that when she would get a power bill, she would like go pay it then. It's like you say, you've got a grace period.
Right.
If the day you get it. But anyway, she got a phone call and said, they're about to turn our power off. And I said, what? I said, you paid your bill, didn't you? And she said, yeah, I did. And I said, let me see that. And it was a text that came to her. And they said that unless she paid with a Walmart card, go get a Walmart debit card, come on, and pay that way, they're going to turn the electricity off. And I said, first of all, then I'm going to ask you for a Walmart prepaid card.
No.
And I said, the best thing, and I've told all of our listeners the same thing, the best thing to do is hang up from them and you call the power company on your own. So I called the power company and they said, yeah, those scam calls are coming in all the time. And so anyway, I had to train her not to answer the phone if it was a number she didn't understand. But I got a message yesterday from somebody on my text line, on my text phone, and it was such an odd one. And so they said that they wanted to, let me see, it's so funny. I thought I was going to die laughing at it. Oh yeah, it's like, what time can you meet with me today? 1:30 or 2:30? And I didn't respond to it because I know it was not a real call. It was
exactly, and it's amazing how they try to get you to engage with them. And Karen has just about broken me from responding to those kinds of text messages or the phone calls. And now she's got me on a leash where I understand that if somebody really needs me, they'll leave a message and then I can get back with them. And especially if it's a number that I don't recognize, because I've always been trained to and have always tried to answer phone whenever it rings. But that's not always the best practice today.
No, it's not today. It's just, and that's just the way you and I, of course, I'm older than you are, but we were in the same lifetime area where, you take good care of your customers and see, I'm in a situation where I feel like I have to answer every phone call because I never know who across the country is going to be calling me.
That's right.
Show. So I'm in that situation where I just about have to answer all of them. But then if it's something that's reasonable, the person they'll leave a message for you. So,
every time, because if they really want to talk to you, they're going to leave a message. And I think it's important to have that as a practice so that you're protecting the consumer or the vulnerable individual.
Absolutely. Let's go into a commercial break. We went just a little bit behind that. That's easy to do with you because of the information for you. Let's go to a break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Everybody hang around, okay?
Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. Or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain-fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Good afternoon. We are back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Television Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely appreciate that. I have John Merrill with me right now. We've been friends for a really long time. I knew your uncle before I knew you, and I would say he's an amazing businessman. Absolutely, yeah. One of the biggest firms in Anniston was one of my clients, and it was just always so good to do business with him, and it's always great to do business with you. So glad you are our Alabama Secretary of State as well. Let's talk about we've been talking about how fraud happens. It's just going to. Now that you're with Waggoner Engineering, are you seeing more cases of maybe towns and cities being taken advantage of when it comes
we have, and one of the things that we have seen that is so disruptive is when a particular individual or a group will actually hijack a municipality or a county by putting a freeze on some of their assets or causing them to have to pay a ransom by having ransomware installed on their computers or in their systems that enable them to be able to gain control over what they can do at that location. And whenever they're able to do that, they can dictate to that municipality or that county what the steps are they need to take in order to get out from under that umbrella that they've opened on them. That makes it really difficult, and it's very frustrating for those folks. So a lot of people try to prepare for that by having ransomware installed that will prevent that from occurring, but it's never 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. It's like the lady at Wells Fargo I was talking with last week. She said nothing is 100%. There is somebody working in their garage figuring it out before you can ever actually get it in place. So it's just a constant fight, but it's something that the customer can help with. So how can the customer?
If it is introduced to you, you need to report it. If you have learned of it occurring in a certain part of your community, you need to report it, because the only way you can stop that behavior is by identifying the behavior and contacting the authorities, and then they can conduct a full-scale investigation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that's another reason I keep bringing up that in Gadsden State has a great tech department. And most of these are computer related. Almost everything is computer now. And I mean, cars are computer. I was talking with a guy, one of my new sponsors, he was talking about cars, and he was talking about the cars that drive themselves that are coming out. And I said, you know something, I'm really freaked out. What if that thing malfunctions? I mean, it's only a computer. It could mess up, right?
Certainly it could. You know, another thing, you see these automobiles that parallel park, or that they'll automatically put the brake on, or they'll do things like that. So having the auto assist, I think, is important. I think it can be helpful, but I'm not to the point yet where I'm comfortable having a vehicle drive itself and you just carry on your conversation with a person that's sitting in the passenger seat, or you eating a Big Mac and drinking a Coca-Cola and eating a large fry like you got no cares in the world. Some people would even do that and watch a monitor, like watch a television program. But I think that's just asking for trouble, because you are behind a missile, which is just actually on the road, which if something happens, it could result in someone being injured or killed.
I don't know. Phil thinks that maybe it'd be better off if the car did parallel park itself instead of me doing it. So maybe he's got a point there.
Either that, or you need heavier bumpers with their rubber.
Maybe that's what it is. Actually, I do better parallel parking than I do just driving down the road. It's weird. But anyway, but all of those jobs are in the future. So what can we do as community members? What can we do to encourage kids to really think about those jobs that are coming up?
Well, I think one of the things that we have to continue to do is something that we're currently doing in West Alabama today, which is have the World of Works introducing students that are in middle school. But I do think we need to start with elementary school, but that are in middle school and the early stages of high school, to be introduced to the different types of jobs that are out there, the different vocations that can be available for somebody to embrace and to take forward as they try to become all they can be in their particular work environment. Whenever they can see that relate to something they're capable of doing, they're more likely to want to do it themselves.
Well, you know something, had we had veterinarian where you could go to a tech school and take veterinarian classes, I would have probably become a veterinarian. I thought really, really a whole lot about that. So, I mean, even those classes are being introduced.
Yes, they are. And one of the most popular programs that they have today in the vocational education sector is in a healthcare component, where individuals are trained to start learning about being nurses and doctors, physician's assistants, therapists, all of those things that are so important to our health and our recovery whenever we're injured or we have surgery. And whenever they can see how that, HOSA is the name of the program, but it's health-oriented program that enables students to see the benefits of working in the healthcare environment, the healthcare industry.
But I think it's a great idea, because when you go to college, you think you know what you want to do. I took accounting classes. I'm doing nothing of the like. I'm a talk show host. So, and then I've owned businesses, so I've just never done accounting. Well, that was a total waste of time and money for me to take those classes. I mean, it was just.
Well, but not necessarily, because one of the things that you had to learn to do in there was to budget your time and to learn how to set a budget. And many of the things that you have to do now, making projections as to what your revenue stream needs to be in order to make sure your program is successful as it needs to be, making sure that you know what markets you need to attack in order to go in a direction that you've not been before. Those things are all things that you learned in those classes. And even though you may feel as though that was not the greatest investment of your time and your money at that point, you're still using those skills that you learned then, today, helping you be successful every day.
Yeah, you got a point there. You made me rethink that. Thank you so much for that. But it's important, though, that because if we'd had the possibilities that they have right now back in my day, I'm just telling you what, because what you can do is you can step in, and parents listen to this, because these kids can get their feet wet just to make sure that's what they want to do. And in a lot of cases, they can be an apprentice for a company. You can't get better experience than that. No,
and that's one of the things that I wish more young people would do, is spend time on internships or apprenticeships, having a mentor that can teach them about the field that they think they have some interest in, because there's nothing that could be more disappointing than to think that this is the area that you want to work in, but then you start to nurture that and they start to move in that direction, and then they realize this is the farthest thing from what I really want to do with my life.
Absolutely. And I'm talking about Northeast Alabama Community College, Sneed State, Gadsden State, and right here in South Carolina, Abbeville, where they have all of these wonderful schools. Most of the instructors there have the hands-on experience, and they can teach you something hands-on that will not be in the books.
That's right. And that's one of the benefits that a community college can offer, is having people that are trained in that vocational instruction, many of whom have been very successful in the private sector in doing that work on their own, as opposed to just having people who have been trained academically to introduce the skills, to introduce the concepts, to introduce the methods whenever they're visiting with the classes. Because if they know they can go back to this person because they've been successful in doing it, it makes a lot of difference for the young person that's trying to learn that area.
Oh, it does. Chris Peak, who is with Northeast Alabama Community College, he's a truck driver instructor, and he drove trucks for like 40 years. Best than him. And I'm just going, Melissa Ledbetter and all those people, they love him because he has that experience, and they've had a better success rate at folks graduating from that class because he knows what the real world is.
Exactly. And when they can talk to somebody that's had that experience, it means more to them when they're trying to learn how it can apply to their lives.
Absolutely. You know what? 1 minute left in this segment. What would you like to tell the folks before you go, John?
Well, I think one of the things that we have to do is we have to be more open and broad-minded about what it's actually like in today's world, because we have so many people that grew up believing that unless we got a college education, we could not be successful. I think that's the farthest thing from the truth. I think it's been the farthest thing from the truth for years, because we need to make sure that people are in a field that they're interested in, that they're enjoying working in, and that they believe they can make a positive difference in. And whenever we provide a young person with that kind of opportunity, I think we'll see a lot of success from them. And that's what we want, is for them to be the best they can be.
I think so. When people have that positive influence in their life, it just overflows. They have a happy life. That's just the way it goes. John, thank you so much for being with me. I know you are a busy person, but thank you so much for taking your time out to be with me today. Definitely appreciate that. And thank you so much. Oh, always. And thank you guys so much for watching the show. And continue sending email. I love it. I treasure it. Donna@donnasedge.com. Donna@donnasedge.com. I promise you I treasure every single one of them. Again, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.